So prior to this, you were asked to put in a bunch of different things for your business analyst table in your Canvas Shelley database, like a phone number and a start date and those kinds of things. I'm going to briefly run through how to do those and make sure that you have your stuff correctly. So watch this video. You can double time speed it in YouTube if you need to, but double check what you've got. So I'm going to go into Design View and I'm going to go ahead and add a phone number. That phone number, I'm going to go ahead and put before the street address. So I'm going to go to the left of the street in the gray box, and I'm going to right click and insert a row. I'm going to put phone number here, and this is going to be an input mask on a short text. So I'm going to go short text field, and I'm going to add an input mask where it's going to require the parentheses, tell you how many digits, and then the dollars or the hyphen in between the numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the triple dot over here on the right with an input mask. And if I have to save it, I'll save it. And then I'm going to choose phone number. You can see when I click down here, it's going to give me the options. And I can just leave everything pretty much exactly the way it is. And I'm going to save mine with symbols and leave it with symbols and go ahead and finish it. And then the next thing you were asked to do is go ahead and put in a start date as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and select a date field. So I'm going to go after postal code right here and put a new row in. And I'm going to go ahead and put start date. And that's going to have me go ahead and choose a date and time option. And that's so that the actual field is a date and it knows it's a date. And when we get in there, you're going to see when we go to data sheet view that it's going to ask you for dates. The other thing it wants you to do is to create a check mark field, or essentially it wants a check mark to show up like a box for a check mark that you can check saying whether or not somebody has a certification. So above YTD or salary YTD, I'm going to insert another row. And this one I'm going to call certification. And in the drop-down menu for your data type, you have all these different ones. And to get the checkbox option, you're going to go ahead and use a yes or no field, because a checkbox option only has two options, yes or no. So when you use a yes or no field, it actually does display a checkbox. So we're going to go ahead and choose that. And you can see that the default value is no on that one. If you wanted them automatically checked, you could, and you can go ahead and make that as well. We're then going to go ahead and also add a comment field. So I'm going to go actually to the end here, and I'm going to add a comment field where I can put comments about the business analyst. And instead of this being short text and being limited to 255 characters, I'm going to go ahead and make it long text where it has no limit, and I can put in as much text as I want here. We have one more thing that we're going to go ahead and add, and that is an OLE object. And I'm going to put that above comment here. So I'm going to insert a row and put that above comment. And I am going to go ahead and call this picture, because we're going to insert pictures of our business analysts as well. And this is very common, especially like I know when I went to like the Airway Heights Rec Center, they take a picture of you. Or when I go to the dentist, they take a picture of you and they they keep it with your record of your information. And this is where we would have that for our business analysts or our clients. And so what we're going to bring in is we're going to bring in OLE object. Now, OLE stands for Object Link Embedded. So it's essentially going to be linking to a file and embedding it into our project. And that's what OLE is. So we're going to go ahead and bring in an OLE object for that picture. All right, so I brought in a postal code, or sorry, not a postal code, a phone number with an input mask, a start date with a date and time field, a certification with a yes or no field, a picture field with OLE object, and a comment field with long text. Lots of field types, data types we had not used before, but pretty simple to figure out what we were using as we went in here. The next thing you were asked to do is go ahead and actually input the data. So I'm going to go ahead and just quickly input my data here. The phone numbers, if you didn't have them, you can go ahead and input them with me now. So 704-555-2436. And then I'm going to hit the down arrow so I can put in Martinez's of 803-555-1279, Lou of 803-555-8658, Scott of 704-555-1279, oops, 555-5762. The start date of each of these individuals, Carrie go ahead and started on May 24th of 2010. Martinez started on February 1st of 2011. Lou started on May 16th of 2011. And Scott started on January 9th of 2012. Okay, Carrie is certified and Scott is certified. And so those two get checked, and you can see that's quickly done and ready to roll. You were then asked to go ahead and click a link like this to get access to a document with comments, so you did not have to retype all this information. And I'm going to go ahead and copy that information in real quick by just selecting and copying and pasting really quickly here. Oh, it's not letting me copy and paste in here. Let's see, I might be bringing in too much information because I was triple clicking. Oh, yep, I was bringing in table information because it's in a table and I didn't like that. Alrighty. So bring that information in really quickly. The last piece you have is this picture, which may have been the place that may have confused you. And that's okay, because when you click here, there's nothing really going on and you can't really like insert a picture. There's, as you look up here, there's not really picture options. Even if I go to like fields and stuff, it's like, where do I go to put in the picture? Okay, so when you want to put in a picture or an object, it's not just a picture, it could be any object. You can right click on here, and you should get an option to be able to insert an OLE object. So I had to actually like click in it again, and I have an insert object option. This then allows me to either create a new object or create an object from a file. Now the files already exist because you were asked to download them to your computer. So again, on here, you were asked to go ahead and download those different pictures to your computer. So you can click that link, and then you can go ahead and download each one by right-clicking and downloading. Or if you download the whole folder right here to your computer, it will create a zip file back here. So it will actually zip all four pictures together, which will then create a file that actually needs to be extracted. So I'm going to show how to do that real quick. So once it's downloaded, it should pop up here or in your downloads folder. But when you go to open this folder, it's going to be a zipped file. Now, the way I know it's a zipped file is because it has a compression on it, but it also has this little zipper on the file. And this is really important because that means that they are compressed files and they're all kept together, and you won't actually be able to import them into the project separately. It'll try and import them all together inside the Access database. So once you go into the folder, you have an extraction folder or extraction tab up here where you can extract all the files. It'll ask you where you want to extract them. You can extract them like right next to there, and you can even show the extracted files when you're completed. And once you extract it, it is no longer a zipped folder because you can see I don't have the extract option here. And now I would be able to grab each of these. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to Access, and I'm going to create from a file and browse to go find my object. So I'm going to go to my downloads folder, go into my business analyst folder, and grab the picture for each person. So right now I am working on Carrie. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Carrie and click OK. The next option is to browse it as a link or display as an icon. So like the link is making it so that if the file disappears, it disappears. So I'm not going to do that just in case the file disappears. I put this on my computer. And if I click display as icon, it'll show it as an icon, or I can change this icon to be like if I went and found a picture or something like that. But I'm going to leave it and not display it as an icon and click OK. All right, it's then going to say it's a package, but we're going to bring that in when we do the form. And so you're going to go in and you're going to do this for each person. So the next person in the list is Martinez, and then Lou and Scott. So I'm going to right click, insert object, create from new, browse, go grab Martinez. Next one is Lou. Create from file, browse, grab Lou's picture. And the last one is Scott. So I'm going to go ahead and browse and find Scott. And now you have all the data you need in here. And what's great is we're going to make a multi-table form that grabs information and allows us to edit our business analysts and see all their information at once. Make sure you save this.